Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Thursday, August 20th. It is the end of the week for the TCF Morning Show. And I am joined today by Matt at schools_01 and Boomy at BoomyTCF. I am Zach Lilia. You can follow me on Twitter at ZLiliaTCF. Follow the main page at typical_Chicago. Go over to Instagram, follow us on there. Go over to Facebook, type in Typical Chicago Fans, and like the Facebook page. Go over to YouTube, subscribe to the Typical Chicago Fans YouTube page. I think we're about at 70. We're close to 70.
Yeah, right around, I think 68, maybe 67.
Okay, so we like to get to 70, or we say 100 would be beautiful.
Get us to a hundo. Let's get us to a
hundo.
hundo. That's the campaign. Let's get us to a hundo. That's got to be the new campaign.
For the
Zach.
TCF Morning Show on there, we put the podcast, we put our food reviews. We'll be trying to do more food reviews here in the next few weeks because that just sounds fun to do. Do some food reviews.
Who doesn't like food?
Yes. And also go over wherever you get your podcast from. If it's Apple, subscribe, rate, review. Spotify, follow us on there. And shout out to Boomy's two uncles that follow us on Spreaker. Shout out to 26shirts.com Chicago. Like I said, next week, hopefully, we will have that promo code for you. But we are happy to be partnering with 26shirts.com Chicago, beautiful sponsor of Typical Chicago Fans. Go over to their website, look at their shirts. They got some hats. They got a flag, so make sure you go over there. It's all for a good cause, so go to 26shirts.com Chicago and check them out. Boys, how we doing?
Doing great, man. End of the week.
End of the week. Yeah, me and Boomy played a little softball last night. It's been beautiful around here for the last few days. It's been the temperature's been perfect, and we are not supposed to get a lot of rain. So it is going to be dry.
Night times are perfect.
Night times are perfect. You want to have a little bonfire or something, perfect time for that. And that's been your TCF weather recap there, too.
The meteorology report.
Perfect weather.
I work outside, so I observe a lot. So I always need to know the temperature and if it's going to rain. So, yeah, there we go. TCF weather review.
Guys, I don't know why. I wake up every morning, and I've been working from home since the middle of March every day, and I still ask Alexa what the hell the weather is every day.
You want to know
I'm not going anywhere. I don't know why.
You're not going
outside.
It's called
do it every day.
It's all right.
I'm still in a t-shirt. I'm still in basketball shorts. I'm still chasing my kid around. I'm still trying to work, and it's the same thing over and over. And I still ask the weather. I don't know why.
It's hey, buddy, the weather's going to be whatever you set the thermostat.
Maybe if you know what the weather is outside, you can pretend like you're out there.
Exactly.
That's true. I have done a couple conference calls on the deck. That's what I was thinking.
All right, boys. Let's start off with some sad news here. The Blackhawks season is over. Sadly, late last night,
into the morning.
Yeah. Into the morning, not last night. The night before. It sucked. They looked like they. If you guys watched the end of the game, I think you guys did. They had that goal that was going to make them go down 2 goals, and then they called it off for player interference on the goalie. So I thought, oh, there's our chance. We're going to get this. And they just couldn't get the puck in the net.
It did feel like they were going to
I thought they were going to get one in now. After that happened, I'm like, here we go. Because after that, after they got the goal, I'm like, this is done. I'm sad. And then I'm like, oh, wait. They're reviewing it. A quick review. He clearly interfered with them. And so they ruled the goal a no goal, and I'm like, oh, here we go. They're going to get this goal here. That's how the Blackhawks do it in the playoffs. We're going to get overtime, see what happens. Nope, season over. But for being the 12th seed, for being the last team in, they fought hard, and they gave us a lot of promise for next year. Next season.
They did. I'm a little worried
sucks.
I'm a little worried about the future of this organization because I don't have a whole lot of faith in Stan Bowman.
No.
I don't have a whole lot. I have zero faith in Jeremy Krause.
I don't think he'll be back.
I sure hope he's not. I don't think any of the players really want him back.
No, because did you guys see that little thing at the end where where Tays waited for everybody and then kind of he walked past him right over to Kane?
Bypassed him. Definitely bypassed him. I'm sorry. If you've lost Jonathan Taves, you've lost that locker room.
Oh, yeah. He is the captain.
It's just It's not. Jeremy Colleton is nowhere near the importance of Jonathan Taves. I think Rocky Wirtz will tell you that. I think Danny Wirtz will tell you that. I think Stan Bowman will tell you that. And I think Jeremy Colleton will probably tell you that.
I'm not a big hockey guy, but we need to fix this defense. We gotta fix the defense.
They've got reinforcements coming internally a little bit. Ian Mitchell is he was a college senior this year. Just finished up his college career.
Hawks drafted Notre Dame.
Hawks drafted him 4 years ago, and they just signed right before the bubble started. He signed his contract, so he did not become a free agent as they can after 4 years. Mitchell is supposed to be, one of those top 4 defensemen, maybe scratching the surface as a top 2. Him and Boqvist are definitely the future of the defenseman core. You gotta hope that that he hits because they need him. They need to somehow dump some salary, whether it's yes, the Canucks just took the lead. Sorry, boys, I'm a little excited now. They got to get rid of that Seabrook contract if they can. They got to get rid of, and I don't know if they, I was listening to Yurko. I was listening to Yurko and DeFalco, or Carmen and Yurko earlier today on AM 1000, and Yurko threw out maybe he can get a skin condition like Hossa did, and as bad as that sounds, that would help in terms of clearing contracts. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're kind of stuck there. And, you look at the guys that they've let up in the past, and I don't know how Stan Bowman can just still keep his job. I mean, with Panarin and Nick Leddy. Nick Leddy is an absolute stud. The guy no one talks about that left this organization in a trade that they got pennies on the dollar. That guy's a stud. Bona fide stud. They gave up Yoki Haru for a guy who was scratched last night.
That's
Yoki
Haru
is a young up-and-coming
Blackhawks
defender.
is bad trades.
It's bad trades, bad signings. The Seabrook deal was an albatross, and it's
was Yoki Haru the kid they sent to Carolina?
No, Buffalo for the Nylander deal.
And the way they do their trades too, they definitely don't have a great communication with their players and stuff. It's going to be
the problem with Yoki. The problem they say with Yoki Haru is he's a little bit like the defenseman that they had coming up in the pipeline, a little offensive-minded, not as good defensively. But he's not Ole Mata, and he's not some of these other guys that they're throwing out there. He's not Brent Seabrook. He's got potential. He's got tons of speed. There's no reason that they gave up that guy for Nylander, and they just shouldn't have. It was just a bad trade at the time it happened. They shouldn't have done it, and that one's going to hurt him for a long time.
Yeah.
Was that the end of the Corey Crawford era that we saw?
I hope so, and I don't mean that in a bad way because they're not poised to win a cup next year. They're just not the way their roster's built. You can't pay $6-7 million for a goalie or plus that for a team that's not going to be on the surface of a cup contender. If you get lucky, maybe.
And they
got to spend that money elsewhere.
They got Dealey under contract, right? And
I'm not sold on him as a franchise goalie, but. There's a couple. I forget the kid's name. There's a guy who's projected to be in about the top 15 in the draft this year. You draft a goalie, you're sitting out 3. Probably see him in the NHL.
That's crazy.
So I mean, it's unlikely that would make an impact right now. But I'm not opposed to investing there because you're not going to get a player where they're going to be drafting that's going to make an instant impact anyway. So.
Yep. So sadly, the Blackhawks season has come to an end. Well, let's move on. The Cubs split a doubleheader yesterday with the Cardinals. I don't know. That first game was kind of a blow. You kind of gave it away. It was a blowout.
Well, you gave up a granny 4
Alex
hitters
Mills gave
literally
up a
didn't get it
very quickly. They had the bases loaded. Ian Happ up, and unfortunately, nothing happened of that. But Ian Happ playing very well. Another home run today.
Guys are breaking.
Watch the strikeout.
Yeah, watch the strikeout.
Yeah. Oh, Big Z getting in the mix. I love it.
I love it.
But that's just. I mean, we got to give the guy some praise. He's really worked his butt off to get back.
Literally 12 months ago was at the bottom of his career, and now he's arguably one
it's
of the
cool.
better.
And like I said, he's our center fielder for hope for the future, and he's been playing well. Offense is there.
Just don't strike out too much in a day and age when teams don't give a shit about strikeouts.
The Cubs.
Yeah,
the Cubs. They have a lot of strikeouts on their roster, which is fine. I mean, that's like I said, that's how baseball is nowadays. So that's kind of how. So the Cubs, they play the White Sox this weekend. That'll be a fun series. They have today off after playing 5 games in 3 days. 2 hot teams, I would say. The White Sox are coming off. We'll get right. Let's just move right into that. Great segue.
Well, hey, real quick on the Cubs, though. I know we've talked about him in the past. Are we buying stock in Adbert Alzolay? I mean, he was supposed to be the next thing coming up, and he pitched well tonight, but we also saw the downside of that was that last year when he came up, he had a couple good outings, and then he kind of got knocked around a little while. It kind of same thing happened to Alex Mills so far this year.
Yeah, but my problem with that is you never gave him a chance after that. They sent him down so quickly after having like a one or two bad starts. You got to let the kid try and get some work in, I say.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to say, like, when you got a kid that's got kind of the potential and the stuff that he shows at times.
He was filthy with some of that stuff tonight.
In flashes. Right. If you're telling me he doesn't have better stuff than some of the arms they're trotting on the bullpen right now?
Yeah.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a spot in the rotation for him, it's right now you need arms. You need good arms.
Gave up
you need arms that can get outs.
In 5 innings. Had 6 strikeouts.
There's a shit ton of starting pitchers in Major League Baseball that scratch the chops and in the bullpen and in some setup roles and in some middle relief roles. And you know what? It's a scramble season. It's a sprint season. Get the arms where you need them.
And Kimbrel comes in with 3
strikeouts with the save in the 7th.
Man.
So that is nice.
But
to
looked
see.
like vintage Kimbrel a little bit. Looked like he did when Boston.
Kind of showed a glimpse of that guy we thought we might be getting, 14 months ago.
Let's hope.
3 straight very good appearances. That fastball he had tonight was popping. And it was had that jump, it had that little bit of life, it had a little upward kick to it that you really need to see from him.
If he can be anything half as what we wanted him to be, that's fine because he did the last about a month or two ago. It looked like we were about to get nothing out of him again this year. And the White Sox will be going to Wrigley Field this weekend to play the Cubs, but they beat the Tigers today 5-3. Another win for them. They're going for the sweep today. This offense looking good again. Matt said he had something to say about Tim Anderson.
Rejacked by this team again.
Tim Anderson, the more you watch that guy play and like you hear what people are saying about him in like interviews and things like that, and that guy he's turning into a bona fide stud. And it's just he's like every bit hate. He's very hard to hate because you could tell the guy loves playing the game. You can tell he loves playing in the city and he loves playing for that team. And I'm not a White Sox guy at all. I really don't like don't like that team and that organization at all. But man, I got to give credit where it's due. And he's literally their Rizzo at this point, in my opinion. I think like he carries more value than he's not going to be considered a top 5 shortstop in baseball. But there's probably not a lot of guys that they're going to give up for in a trade for him, just because of what he brings to that organization and what he brings to that clubhouse. And I don't know, man. I really, really like that guy a lot. And the other thing tonight, too, about that game against Tigers, Zach, you mentioned, too, the 5-3 game, was a showcase of really good arms, too. 2 good young arms with Dane Dunning pitching, and then Casey Mize got his debut for the Tigers, and he was
you'll be seeing a lot of
number 1 overall
major league debuts and stuff throughout this year with all the pitching having to go through and the 7-inning games and stuff like that. Like
the service time clock
came up for the Cubs today.
Exactly.
He pitched with the Cubs before, but he came up today. I think was it the other day? Tyson Miller made his major league debut, so you'll be seeing a lot of that throughout Major League Baseball. But it'll be exciting this weekend to have the Cubs and the Sox, who are both playing well right now, going head-to-head. They haven't played each other since the exhibition games before the season started, so that'll be fun.
The other thing about the Sox, too. The other thing about the Sox, too, is that offense. I know we've talked about it so much. Like, obviously, the last few episodes or probably the last few weeks we talked about. But, like, tonight, I was watching the game. It was 4-3, I think, in the eighth. Encarnacion came up, hits a homer, and it was. I almost forgot that guy was on their team.
Yeah,
like you think about all their hitters, and then here comes Edwin Encarnacion too. It's just that team could do a lot of damage in the American League this year, just because they're playing with a little bit of a pep. They're playing with they're not scared of anybody, and they got so much talent everywhere.
But let's move on. We have the NBA Draft Lottery today. I know a lot of people may have not known about that because I did not know about it. But the Bulls have, I think, like a 31% chance of maybe moving into the 1 through 4 pick, which would be huge. Or they'll be picking, I think, 7 through 11 if that's not the case. If you're a Bulls fan, this is a big night. It's something that we can look forward to with knowing we have a new coach coming next season. Well, hopefully we can get a high draft pick. And hopefully it doesn't turn out like it usually does for the Bulls.
Yeah, as of right now, they have the 7th best odds of getting the number 1 pick, which if you follow the Bulls draft over the last couple of years, that number 7 is deadly because I think we've had the number 7 overall pick for like the last 3 or 4 years.
I was going to say that's all we need to get rid of coronavirus and get back to normalcy is the Bulls picking 7th again.
Yeah.
Nothing more normal than that.
Of getting the number 1 pick are 7.5%. So that number is going to come around and kill us. But yeah, it's like you said, Zach, the kind of new dawn that's on the horizon is definitely something to look forward to. And it's going to be a long shot to get that number 1 seed, or that number 1 pick. But hey, crazier things have happened, man. So, let's see where – and it's going to be a quick process. Usually the draft lottery isn't as close to the draft. I'm not sure exactly what day, but it feels like it's going to have to be pretty quick as soon as the NBA finals are over with the way the world is now. So, exciting times, that's for sure.
I'm excited for this because hopefully we are not like it. It doesn't happen like it did last year. I'm looking positive with it. New coach, new owners. New management. My apologies. And maybe there's the different kind of juju. Maybe we can get a little bit of a good juju.
God, I hope so.
You know what I mean? Maybe we got the bad spirits went away.
The Bulls deserve to be good.
Yes, they need to be good.
They really do.
For the NBA, give me that frozen envelope. Give me the number 1 pick, please.
Reinsdorf doesn't deserve to be good. I want to rephrase that. He doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what?
The fans of that,
Matt, you know what I mean. When you talk about a team, though, you usually you never really do talk about the owner. You know what I mean? You talk about the fans,
unless the owner sucks.
Well, I mean that's a lot of organizations. I know it happens for a few teams in our town, but there's a lot of bad owners in the.
You're right. In
the professional world. But let's go right into also the NBA playoffs. It's been a good playoffs today. We just finished watching the Mavericks. Last night we watched the Mavericks beat the Clippers and tie that series up. I think that's going to be a series to really watch. I think that the Celtics are going to sweep the 76ers. I don't think they have a chance there. Unfortunately, with Ben Simmons going out, it's just not a lot going on there, I don't think. And then the Jazz tie that series up with the Nuggets, and I think that is going to be another good series of 2 good young teams.
I want your guys' opinion on this. I was, thinking with kind of the way that the series have gone so far, the upsets that we've seen, the even series that we've seen, is this proving how? And I don't want to downplay that we didn't know this before, but the actual home court advantage and travel, it's kind of.
I kind of take with especially the Lakers. This kind of made sense. I heard this on part of my take. The Trailblazers have been trying to make the playoffs, and they've been in playoff mode for the last few weeks here. They've been in big games, hitting big shots and stuff. The Lakers have had the 1 seed locked up for at least the last 2-3 weeks here.
2 weeks. Yeah.
So they really haven't been playing these big pressure games, and I think as much as we want to say LeBron, he couldn't have played any better the other night. He set a record the other night. I think he had 30, 15, and 15. He had like a triple-double with 3 minutes less in the third quarter, but his team gave him nothing, and that bench has to worry you.
Yeah. I mean,
J.R. Smith, no
think
points. KCP
court.
with I think he was 0 for something from 3-point land. I mean,
they were 15% as a team from 3.
Anthony Davis played bad.
But I'm saying, though, like, if you're at home and you're at the Staples, let's just say, for example, if you're
I don't buy it.
Like, you're living off of that, like, that home court advantage. And like, you could say that about if Milwaukee was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and not in an empty gym in Orlando, Florida, would that have been different? And I think there's definitely.
I actually agree with Boomy on this one. I think the crowd.
How is home court advantage not an advantage?
I mean,
like,
yes,
if it's a regular
advantage, whatever. But I mean, they're out there going to play basketball either way. I don't really think. I don't know. I just don't buy it.
Oh, I think it's a huge.
I think.
Huge
you just said that you
set up the way.
You just changed your stance on. You thought a little bit of it to huge.
I mean, it definitely plays a part. Like, think about the crowd going crazy after made basket. I definitely think it's more than you're giving it credit for.
I guess that's a tweet your own kind of thing.
Frozen Boomy.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, they're playing me. I mean, there's loud sounds going on throughout. I just think if you're a professional basketball player, it's not that big of a difference. Yeah, if you're like what? You got some smirk on your face. What do you gotta say?
You don't have to take it personal. I just disagree with you.
I know, and
I think there's a huge difference in playing in your own arena in front of your own fans
from
than playing in front of a board
to
animatronic
like, oh, there's a huge difference. It's a huge game.
It's a big difference.
You just said you did not start the argument with saying it was a huge difference. I'm just saying, it may have a little bit of a part of it, but I don't think it's huge. You got anything else to say?
I disagree with you.
Okay, let's move on. You got a wacky web story for us?
I sure do. Have either of you guys been on a plane recently with everything going on in the world?
No, sir.
No, it's been a long time. I can't even think of the last time I was on a plane, a couple summers ago. As if COVID traveling couldn't get worse. A woman on a flight in Alaska made everybody, riding with their masks on, with their social distancing, made that flight even worse. This woman gave birth on a flight in Anchorage, Alaska, named her son Sky because of the unique experience. But yeah, imagine being on a flight, you're getting yelled at to put your mask on, you're getting yelled at to, turn your cell phone off and all that good stuff. And then the woman across the aisle from you goes into labor. So I definitely am going to stay away from planes until the foreseeable future. That was just another straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, just stay home if you're that close.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Come on.
Like, there's hospitals wherever you were or wherever you're going. Come on. Like, that's just – I'm not crazy about flying in the first place. And, like, I can handle it. It's not a big – like, I just don't really get crazy about it. But if someone next to me was giving birth, I'd probably not be flying.
I obviously did not birth my child, as I think we both are, all three of us are aware that, genetically speaking, it's not possible. I was there, though, and I know doing that on a plane, not an easy task. Not an easy task at all for the woman. And anybody else who assisted that, God bless them for being there, because I would be of no help.
No.
Like, zero help. I would be.
You're just standing there with a bottle of water. Your hands are shaking. Like, what can I do?
Unbelievable.
Well, let's recap the week here. We are at Thursday. The Cubs they win the series with the Cardinals, and the White Sox are hoping to sweep. And the Blackhawks season is sadly over. So we'll have to kind of recap the where the Bulls will be standing here when the draft comes around next week.
Are they playing for the BP Cup this week?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to start till September.
I want that BP Cup, man.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the B Cup, like the teams that didn't make the bubble.
No, they're not doing. They're not playing.
No, I mean
they're doing like they're allowed to go to their facilities now.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the Cubs.
You want the Cubs Sox Cup?
Yeah, the BP Cup.
They're not actually. The Bulls will not be playing any more games.
Good.
It's just they'll be allowed to go to their facility.
Yeah. We don't need to see them play.
No,
that would be, I don't think those guys would. I don't think you would get enough players that would want to quarantine in that for games that mean nothing.
Kidding. No kidding. But yeah, Matt, I'm definitely with. They need to play for something.
Let's get the Crosstown BP Cup. Let's get the sweep the Sox. Even
if that's not available, I think like the Rockford Ice Hogs and the Chicago Wolves play for like the Illinois Lottery Cup. We could throw that in the mix if we had to.
There we go.
Something to get it going.
I'm down for playing for any cup that can be acquired.
Hey, and this is probably one of the weirdest weeks in Cubs. This might be the only time in Cubs history we have 5, 6, 7, 8 games in 1 week. At least, barring it doesn't happen very much. I know there's obviously doubleheaders every once in a while, but we don't see it very often. So this was an 8-game week, or will by the end of it be an 8-game week.
It's a lot of games, man. It's a lot of games.
A lot of baseball.
Crazy. Well, thank you to Matt at schools_01 and Boomy at Boomy TCF. I'm Zach Lilia at Z Lilia TCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Follow us on Instagram and like the Typical Chicago Fans Facebook page. Go over to YouTube. We're trying to get to 100 now, so go over there, subscribe to the Typical Chicago Fans YouTube page. Then if you're on Apple, subscribe, rate, review. If you're on Spotify, follow the podcast. And then if you're on two of Boomy's uncles, thank you for being our only followers on Spreaker. Shout out to 26shirts.com Chicago. They got shirts. They got a lot of shirts. They're all for a good cause. All the designs are made by people that are going to profit off of those shirts, and it all goes for a great cause. And then they got hats, and they got flags. So make sure you go over to 26shirts.com Chicago and follow them on all social medias. Thank you to them, our beautiful sponsor. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Thursday, August 20th. We love you all.
Peace.